Om Shanti. In this Avyakt month, stay free from bondage and experience the stage of liberation in life. Liberation and liberation in life are your birthright. Your slogan is liberation and liberation in life are your birthright. In the supreme abode, you won't even know what liberation is or what liberation in life is. You have to experience those here now, in this Brahmin life. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti. Welcome to Avyakti Parivar. Today's day 12. In this Avyak month, stay free from bondage and experience the stage of liberation in life. Today's topic, liberation and liberation in life are your birthright. Dilaram Bhatti point to practice the bestower of fortune, Bhagya Vidhata. Happiness comes from the bestower, not from what you predict. Now we will listen to Mohini Didi.
Om Shanti. Everyone has to check your inner happiness, super sense joy. It really comes through the blessing. Blessings of all are very important so that I can maintain inner lightness, inner happiness. I had call with sub-region of Latin America, and as you all know that whatever is happening in the world, even Baba said in the morning this morning, they are critical, will be more upheavals, more critical. So there was a beautiful question that when all this is happening, and then Baba had said, yes, for the new world, old will finish. Then when it's happening, why we have fear or why we are so insecure, especially countries in that area after what happened recently. They are kind of very insecure and everyone is checking their defense system and like on alert. But I like this morning when Baba said bodyless stage. So I'm still churning on soul. What is the difference between soul consciousness and bodyless? Soul consciousness we can be while walking around, doing actions, practice of I am soul using my hands, I am soul doing this, I am soul. But bodyless is a practice which is of sitting. So we sit and have this experience that I am soul separate from body. But at present I am in body. They call it Atma and then Jivatma. That soul is in the body. But this whole two different entities, one is from the matter or nature, and one is eternal, immortal. So, yeah, we are churning, some of us, and we will come to you with a very definite definition and practice also. But most important point with that was that what you have to do at this time, be in bodiless state and give sakash. Which Baba had been telling us. I remember when it was 9/11 and I returned same day. And we went to some home, then all the time television was on because that's what people do. I immediately remember Baba says, you have to give sakash. One of our brother was there and I suddenly thought, and I said, oh, we have to protect him, give sakash. Which Baba calls as Mansa Seva, but it's Sakash. Sakash means light and might. Not only light, but then in that there is also power. It's like as much our thought is very pure, altruistic, the capacity of that thought or the light of that thought, power of that thought reaches far and wide anywhere. But if it is limited, that total purity, which Baba had been talking a lot about purity these days. So I like it that not one, you have to be bodiless. Second, then keep busy in giving sakash. And also how not to allow the fear to become part of me. And one sister in Costa Rica was talking about when they have flooding, and then they came home, everywhere was just mud and water. So they cleaned it. But one thought came, it's Baba's home. Suddenly what happened? So I said, but you dealt it differently than Lokik people will do. So when such a time comes, instead of subtly, knowing that this could happen, this is the possibility. And I like when Baba said today, as if Baba is talking about, it's 20 years ago morely, but Baba is talking at the present time, that if all that is happening and will happen more upheavals, are we prepared? And for that, we have to very sincerely practice bodiless stage and giving sakash. You're not worried about yourself. You are in that stage. Question how we can be together. If we all are practicing bodiless stage, that connection globally with the family, countries around you, our thoughts will connect us. Because there might not be devices, there might not be any connections. Today we are fortunate we could see each other and we have Zoom service. But when there are upheavals, there are no connections, right? It is just through our thoughts. So each thought is valuable and we shouldn't waste it now, but rather make it more powerful with different practices. So Baba is saying liberation and liberation in life are your birthright. Your slogan is liberation and liberation in life are your birthright. In the supreme abode, you won't even know what liberation is. When we are in liberation, we won't know what liberation is or what liberation in life is. You have to experience those here now in this Brahman life. There is so much to discuss amongst ourselves. And whenever we sit, we take some practice. All the spiritual relationships will emerge because that's what Dadis did. Whenever they sat, what did Baba say? What is our, let's sit together in remembrance collectively. That is what is the need of the time. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti. Happy to be here with all of you. Parivar room. The director said I would look better if I sat next to you. So
we are glad to have you here.
I hope that's working. So see how that goes. There have been a number of things that have come up today, this week, and such. And I'm going to combine two things that one was mentioned, I think, on Wednesday. It wasn't a thought I had had before. And going to combine that with what you just said about not to waste any of our thoughts and that more upheavals are coming. And that sense of what was said on Wednesday, it was quite fascinating. What you said was that we have gone through the cycle and we have used a lot of our energy and we're tired. And so that sense that the soul has to regain the energy to kind of make the efforts. But the environment, the atmosphere is not supportive of that. And so that process of taking the power, building ourselves up when we are in a weak state of the soul going through that cycle, what is the method, the way, the best way to recognize that we're kind of susceptible and I want to say sensitive to issues, and that causes us to maybe react and bring out old patterns, even though that we are at our weakest point when we come into the knowledge, and that the environment there is only getting increasingly. So those two things seem to be uphill barriers for us. Does that make some sense as to where we're at and how we need to see ourselves in that process? And part of it is to be a little forgiving for ourselves and each other.
In within these few weeks, experiencing different inner stages, I realized that kind of a combined effort is important. The first one is Baba has given us knowledge, and knowledge is our power. Knowledge is our strength. So I realized that churning of knowledge is very important. And also conversations of when we sit together, as I mentioned, chat about what Baba said, go deeper into that. So because that knowledge will, of course, intellect will be very divine and occupied also in a way. But also conversations will also create sanskars of knowledge in us, which is, as I said, knowledge is light, might, and also everything we do will be right. But that is not enough. Practices during day are very necessary. If we do not do, especially even traffic time, don't just sit. Use one of the stage, or either it is silence, or it is bodyless, or it's soul consciousness, or just sitting and feeling stage of mukti and jivan mukti, like practices are very important. But then I realized that with that, remembrance of Baba also is very important. So if we combine all three, that's what I noticed, that can keep our stage, our energy will be charged. Battery remains charged and you kind of move forward. But our efforts also have to be timely. We shouldn't be behind in the sense of sometimes carelessness, sometimes lack of attention on study, sometimes not remembering Baba enough. So we have to keep ourselves very good in our efforts so then the atmosphere won't affect us. Even whether you hear the news, whether you watch the news, only word comes, Baba had said this is going to happen. And thinking about any leadership, yes, they will become instrument. Baba said somebody will become instrument to shake the whole world. And everyone preparing their, looking at their weapons and what they can do next, not only to protect, but also then invade also. So whatever is happening, I think these three things will keep the soul not get affected or create that subtle fear, as I mentioned, everyone is talking about. And I was also reminding myself that one has to be fearless and no anxiety, no tension, but just make good quality efforts. And as Brahma Baba, during partition, during picketing, during Bagri part, he was victorious. He passed with honor, and because of his stage, 300 of them in the family also felt very protected. So each one of us instrument, we are responsible to sustain the whole family. I hope.
I'm sure that hope will be realized. And as you say it, I enjoy the conversations because they spark things. And you just mentioned that Brahma Baba helped 300 in their stage. I'm kind of looking at the numbers on the Parivar. And so there's kind of a similarity because I'm not going to speak for everybody, but I'm going to speak for everybody that we feel very comfortable as your stage gets stronger to kind of be under that umbrella. Okay. And so that's one of the feelings I've always had. If I'm kind of close, then that's kind of good. Okay. And one of the aspects of science is matter, mass, has attraction. And so as you specifically develop and get closer and more powerful, that has an attraction, and that kind of is pulling a lot of us along also. We kind of are orbiting around you because of that. And so the example you gave for Brahma Baba is true for you also, if you recognize that.
Yeah, because, some people think if we are in knowledge for many years, so it should be easy, there should be, and it can be easy, but also I always remember recently, especially January 1st when I offered Bhog, and then it came in also with the signal that as many are achievements, so will be the test. And that is like final test, as I mentioned, sometimes it could happen that the past emerges and certain things come and then there is wave of sorrow. But then as soon as it comes, how to not to be scared, but okay, I have to be victorious, or suddenly you find different things happening. So not feel, down, but also immediately, but that's the test, achievements and the test. In Hindi, we call it prapti and pariksha. So I think that somewhere that remembering, thinking this way immediately helps us. And I feel I like in such a way our trust on each other or closeness where we could share openly. And when we start sharing, then, it's like when flame is flickering a little bit and we know it can blow up. So all those around try to protect it, right? So it's always have the family, nuclear family or extended family, where you are spiritually so connected that you could share your attainments and your difficulties as tests so that someone else can share their experience and help you to shorten that test, in the sense of, because here we cannot say there is cheating, right? Like in school or university, they say, but here is more encouraging each other, like travelers, let's go along, let's go forward, let's move. No, as Baba said, one of the song that, "O traveler of the night, destination is not far." That song is very good, right? So I feel that, yeah, there will be tests, but then we have to pass with honor. And the company is very important, right type of where we don't all the time talk about issues and situations, and but purely spiritual chat, purely. And that should happen more, I think. And that becomes very supportive, very supportive. So as you mentioned, a Vyakti Parivar, yeah, I also feel that we all are together, and many share, even when I am in India, that how much they use, even Hindi one is about 10, 12 minutes. You use it for bhatti, they use it. Some were saying how whole day they find that that point, keeping in mind, help them to pass the situation in an easy way.
You had mentioned that we should keep up with our efforts and kind of continue to do that work. And I think I am falling behind this month because I like to linger. The experience that I'm creating and feeling. And so it seems like I'm falling behind in reading it and thinking about it. I don't think this is a bad thing because the knowledge is unlimited, but the ability to focus in on something and concentrate and then kind of move on. I'm a little tardy in
Yeah,
keeping up.
I can understand. It happens to many of us that if we had 3 days maybe to practice, or 1 week,
Yeah.
1 point, and yeah, what you're saying is right, that we start practicing, focusing, and then we have to change our focus,
Okay.
and so we can think about it.
Well, maybe that's the training that we have to do is focus, experience, and be ready to move on. But sometimes I'm enjoying the experience and I don't want to let go of that by, saying this is over, now I have to recreate that. So it's kind of an interesting dichotomy of how we are making the efforts this month. But
We
there's a
should
lot.
think about it. Yeah,
Okay.
definitely. That what best we can do, where we have more time for practicing, experiencing.
It's good. I'm enjoying everything, and there's a lot. And I enjoy going to some of these programs where there's a lot of food, but I don't have to eat it all at one time. I had an image when you were talking about the mukti and the jivan mukti. That point that came up, that now is the time to experience that, because when we are in the soul world, we don't have that awareness, and that we're just kind of there. And I was given the image of the stars. Okay, I appreciate them when they're out. I like looking at them. It's not necessarily a great joy or spiritual profound experience, but I have the feeling that that's a little what the soul world is like. I'm around, I'm kind of content. I don't really have a relationship, but I enjoy kind of being in that atmosphere. Does that make any sense of how we might experience what the soul world is like?
No, even if you, first thing what comforts me, that is my home.
Yeah.
But then imagining that what will be the experience, I don't know. Definitely it's restful because there is total silence, and Baba says you go home and you take rest from playing part, and then you come back, you play part. And but then Baba also says maximum time you play part is your fortune. Some have only one birth or two births. We have all 84 births. So, yeah, your image, your imagination, your experience, I think it's very, very interesting. And each one of us should really think, and one time we should share what you think, what you feel, what kind of effort you want to make. But it's a good image. So.
Yeah. This is the Sunday before the next Sunday. And next Sunday is the 18th of January. And this weekend at Harmony House, there's been a lot of activity, cleaning, preparation, thinking, all sorts of things. Is there any routine or kind of thoughts that you have for the 18th of January? Anything that you do to prepare inside or outside? Anything that you feel is necessary for yourself?
This weekend had been Karma Yoga more because we want place cleans. Even today here in our Avyakti room, thorough cleaning, washing curtains and getting ready, then Baba's room, and it's kind of cleanliness and necessary, especially in month of January. And that's done now, right, for the weekend. And maybe still preparation for 18th, some are more involved and some. But I think these few days, our attention should be more in silence and detached observer, or know what Baba calls it, that awake stage. So be brief, be short, even if it's some kind of task you're doing. So I think that, some have locking job, they will be doing still 8 hours of their job. They will travel back and forth from the job in train, bus, or by car. So that activity has to continue, but inside have determination. Like for me, can I be more quiet or some freedom again? This morning when I was talking to sub-regional uh, Zoom call, that how to be completely free from fear. Because once a fear goes in and remain in, your thoughts will be really different. So that is why I really loved Bodyless stage and give Sakash. Bodyless stage give Sakash. So I think that will help us to even and try to avoid listening to the news as much possible, because we want to keep ourselves update to know that we know what's happening in the world. But I think as much we keep ourselves away from the physical world, the atmosphere, and as much as possible will give us more experience of aware stage closeness to Bab Dada, Sakar or Avek Bab Dada. And that will definitely help us to celebrate 18th January and have full experience of like Baba's presence, Baba's help, and some special blessings also, which are very important for this. So that's what I will suggest, to more into silent and essential for everything, not go into much details and
Okay, thank you.
mm.
So,
Thank you, Brother Eric. You didn't say a word for yourself.
I'm doing good. Good. And happy to be here with you and the family.
What's your name?
Oh, okay. Yes, my name is Eric, and I'm here at Avyakti Parivan. I'm in Bhavan, wherever I'm at.
Mm.
And I have been with the Brahma Kumaris for over 40 years. And I've been in the New York area now for over 30 years. And so I've had the opportunity to have interaction and conversations and some service here in New York. And it's been enlightening and wonderful. So hope everybody has a chance like that also.
Thank you.